I think this is gonna be a short video. I just wanted to share my first day with my new camera here. It's the Fuji X-E4 and the 16mm f1.4. So yesterday I took it out for the first time, the camera and the 16mm. I took a little bit of video and a little bit of photos with it yesterday during sunset and a little bit of at night. I really like this lens. I really love this lens actually. I had so much fun with the few minutes, maybe almost an hour or two with it yesterday shooting out and about. I went to the beach with my wife, took a couple shots with the landscape and a couple of shots with her. I thought the focusing was fast. I didn't think it was sluggish or anything. I'm not sure if that's a common thing because I think this is an older lens. Let me just check that real quick. So this lens was released in 2015, so it's about 7-8 years old now. It's almost 2023. So I don't think it was sluggish. I don't know if that's a common characteristic of this lens from people who has experience with it. This is my first Fuji experience, by the way, so I am still trying to figure things out here. But I also want to say with my first day, so this video is probably a first day experience with the X-E4 and the 16mm. The X-E4 performed really well. I had a lot of fun with it. I thought it was fast enough. And this coming from somebody that don't really know what I'm doing with Fuji. The settings are very different from Canon. I was trying to look for stuff on the camera and the menu system, and I had a little bit of hard time doing that. While I remember having my Canon, I started with a Canon T6 with the digitals. Now I have the EOS R. Everything seemed to just be where they are, where I expect them to be. While Fuji had to really dig deep where stuff are. Even just from switching from photo to video was a bit confusing where it is. I think even now I'm still not really sure, but I think you go to drive and then at the bottom of the menu you'll see the video right here. So I pressed drive and it's here at the bottom. I'm not sure if there's a faster way to get to that, but that's, so as of now, that's all I know how to get there. Trying to make sense of the display, where things are. I can see where your exposure, light meter on the side there, where I'm used to the Canon is horizontal at the bottom of the screen. I'm kind of confused because even though I'm on shooting mode, stills mode, at the top there's a full HD icon that says 120 for video. And I'm still not sure about, I have it set to normal and raw, but when I uploaded my photos to Lightroom, all came up as the Fuji RAW .raf. I was thinking I'll have both JPEGs in RAW, but the RAW files are also still kind of, I think they already have the film simulation setting that I put in there. It's not bad. It's not what I expected. I just don't know. I think those are one of the things that I will be figuring out as I go through having it. I totally enjoyed the flip screen. It's so much easier than the flip screen with the EOS R. How would you differentiate? Flip and swing out screen. I really like taking photos from the waist this way. The only thing is also when I'm doing that, I don't know if you can change the setting, but I think when I get too close to my body or an object or my hand gets too close to the sensor where the EVF is, the image flips over and yeah, it is kind of annoying. I don't know how I can avoid that. Yeah, that was kind of weird for me. Kind of the same with the Canon when I'm using the screen instead of putting my eye into the EVF, it just turns off my screen. I'll probably find it where to disable that or how to maybe change settings. I'm not really that close. I still think that I was still kind of far from the sensor and it's already flipping and doing its thing. That's the only thing really. I did buy a thumb rest for this guy. This is not the Fuji branded one. This is from Amazon, a third party. Haoge? Maybe Haoge. My Peak Design strap is the full size one. I'm not used to having the strap just around my neck. I think I still prefer it kind of like the sling style. So I was kind of doing that, but my anchors are currently like this. So it's not quite working as intended with the sling. So it's kind of weird handling. but it's okay. I might down the line get a slimmer strap than this. I just don't have time because I'm leaving for the Philippines in a week. So all the custom made straps with the Peak Design anchor, I think it takes a little longer for delivery. Having the XE4 with this 16 mil is a little heavy. It's unless you do use two hands in it, and then you can have your hands, the other hand, your right hand, your trigger hand, change settings with exposure compensation. You don't really change that a lot, but you know, your shutter speed and just the buttons at the back if you want to change the focus point and stuff. So you really need two hands there. The EOS R doesn't have the joystick, but you can kind of use the touchscreen to change focus points. So that's what I'm used to doing. I was really looking forward to using the joystick though. It does feel more kind of tactile, or you're doing something. And the play buttons there with the thumb rest, it is kind of hard to reach the Q button if you want to change focusing modes and stuff on or other stuff. I have to get used to changing ISO, but like I said, I just need to get used to this. I'm used to like using all full manual. This camera really wants you to slow down, but I don't want to miss some stuff also. I think having some settings in auto would help, like auto ISO. I'll probably play with that and see how it goes. These are the things that I still need to figure out. I don't know why in the EOSR, maybe just because I'm so used to everything, it does seem to be a faster process for me while shooting. This one I still have to find stuff, and I guess trying to look at you, although I can also look at the screen for the shutter speed. I don't know why I keep on trying to like look at the top here. Just maybe because I know that it's there. I tend to like, oh, I have to look at the dial, but really you can see it on the screen too. I also found a video on using the front dial here to change shutter speed, but I don't know why yesterday it seems to not want to move past a certain speed. Yesterday when I was like toggling this, it doesn't really go through the whole range. I don't know why. It's now at 200 all the way to 400. I don't know, something I need to figure out. If anybody knows or can help me with that, that will be great and I'll appreciate it. And same as the AEL and AFL, I don't really know how to use that. I think I can use that for back button focusing. I have to figure that out. If I can, that'll be great because I'm so used to having back button autofocus. Okay, now going back to the lens again. What I really like about it, I've never had a 1.4, so that large aperture is it's really nice. I really like how blown out the background is. Even though it's not full frame, I wouldn't be able to tell if it's not full frame. And it's really nice to have that tap to shoot with the camera, tapping the screen, because she got to take photos of me without me showing her how to focus. Oh, the only thing that I noticed, correct me if I'm wrong, the camera doesn't seem to figure out the face of the subject if they're wearing sunglasses. I think my camera, my EOS R, can still figure out that it's looking at a person, and eye focus, eye detection still works even if you're wearing sunglasses. This one didn't. Maybe I need a firmware update. I'm not sure yet. But with my experience yesterday, no, it was not. It was not detecting my wife's face, and the second we took out the sunglasses, took off the sunglasses, then the focusing went to her face and the eye. Which actually, when it's working like that, it looks good. It seems to be tracking it real well. This 16 mil also has a very short like focusing distance, which I really appreciate. I have a few shots of stuff that are on my desk, and also the sand on the beach. And as the water's coming into the beach, I also have that. And it's really really nice. I get to get really close, and I was actually started to get kind of, because I was looking at the screen and I was like trying to remind myself intentionally to like do not get too close because it's water and I don't want it to get wet. Because I'm still choosing between this lens and the 18 mil f2, and one will be going back to MPB. While this lens is weather resistant, the X-E4 is not, so we don't want that. Although even if like a little bit of that wave, because I didn't go into the water, we were just like at the edge of the beach. Even if the water got to us, it's not gonna be like bad wet because it's probably just gonna touch it like that, but it didn't, so we're good with with that. The only reason why I would probably return the 16 is because of the weight. This really is making the camera a little too heavy than I want it to be. My whole setup, I bought this camera for this trip, so I really want this setup to be as light as possible. Maybe down the line I can buy like a bigger lens, kind of the 50s or like for portrait style stuff. But then again, I'm not sure because that's what my Canon is for. When I'm shooting my portraits, I love my 85 for full frame and the 50 sometimes walking around. This Fuji setup, I bought it to be my travel, easy to pick up and walk around kind of camera if I don't want to bring my Canon. It's great. I love it. It's solid, but I think I'm returning it. So next video would be about this little guy, which I would probably end up keeping the 18mm f2. It's so light. It's ah, I don't know. It is noisy though. It doesn't matter on photos. Enjoy the photos. I've probably shown a couple while I was talking, but yeah. Have a good one. Thank you for watching. Peace.